The Trump administration announcing 1,000 additional active duty troops will be deployed to bolster the crackdown on illegal immigration, including 500 Marines to Guantanamo Bay in Cuba, after President Trump outlined his plan to send as many as 30,000 undocumented migrants to the notorious offshore military base. We have those details coming up, and we're also hearing newly confirmed Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth putting all options on the table tonight, including military strikes on Mexico. The comments coming as the cartels have given the green light to use new weapons in the air on U.S. forces at the border. To talk more about the legalities surrounding the current crackdown on illegal immigration, we're welcoming in attorney Mark Reichel. It's always good to see you, Mark. Thanks for making the time tonight.
No, thank you, Natasha.
Mark, we are seeing many training videos, many advice videos, especially in sanctuary cities, telling undocumented migrants, if ICE comes to the door, do not open the door, ask for a warrant. It has to be signed by a judge. They need to put it under the door or hold it up. Basically, don't say anything and they can't come in. Is that true?
Yeah, that's actually true. So first of all, there's two types of warrants: judicial warrants for your arrest, where they can detain you, they can actually take you. And there's called a deportation warrant, which comes just from immigration judges, which are not actually federal judges that can have you arrested. It's an order that you to be deported to an INS agent. But everyone in America does have the right to, not say anything, number one. You never have to really say anything, except if you're here and you're not a U.S. citizen and you have valid paperwork, you actually are obligated to show that paperwork. So that's one thing. You do have to show your own paperwork. The training that is going on, I'm fully aware of about ICE raids, and it really is, the law that you never really have to open your door. Now, if they have a judicial warrant, they're going to break it down at some point. But even if they show you the warrant, you still have to go peacefully.
We have heard reports of these so-called collateral captures and reports of straight up U.S. citizens being mistakenly identified for possible deportation. Is there any serious possibilities that U.S. citizens could accidentally be deported here, or what measures are in place to prevent that from happening?
It's unlikely it could happen. I mean, you're going to take thousands and thousands of people into deportation. You could get an American citizen who has some crazy story why they couldn't find their birth certificate. Their name is really similar to somebody who's not a citizen and something like that. But rarely you're going to get a U.S. citizen that's going to be detained. I don't think that's already happened, and it's going to happen. Be detained. That's different. That's being arrested and brought down to the INS headquarters. But actually taken across the border is highly unlikely. But you're going to get U.S. citizens being detained, I believe.
Tell me more about birthright citizenship. We see President Trump in short order trying to put an end to that policy that grants citizenship to children born in the U.S. regardless of the citizenship status of their parents. Based on your background as an attorney here, is an executive order ever going to be enough to topple this right that is guaranteed by the 14th Amendment?
No, it's a constitutional right. So if you want to change that, you have to get 2/3 of the legislatures, and you have to get 2/3 of the U.S. Senate and the Congress and so forth. It's you would have to amend the Constitution. That's really clear. The 14th Amendment is really clear on birthright citizenship. You don't, if you don't like it, I understand if you don't like it. Okay, but it is a constitutional right, and we don't just just quickly get rid of a constitutional right, obviously, in America.
We've heard President Trump now saying that he will be using Guantanamo Bay for the, quote, worst of the worst individuals, as many as 30,000 individuals. What are you expecting in terms of conditions they will face there, the viability of this process?
Well, Guantanamo Bay is not set up for that. It's set up for maybe 1,000 at the very, very most, more like 500, really. And it's more like an interrogation place. It's not really set up to house a large number of people. The human rights violations that would take place there are probably outstanding. Now, you have to understand, though, when you elect the president, under Article, in the U.S. Constitution, they are to enforce the laws, and so we give the president a lot of discretion on how to enforce the immigration laws. This one will probably result in some court cases about it being inhumane and inappropriate, but we'll see. I think it's going to play out, though. I don't think it's an empty threat.
Attorney Mark Reichel, always appreciate your time, the context, the analysis. Thank you so much.